abusuafoɔ yɛ ma mo nyinaa mo akɔ ababa channel wei so abusua bɔ mmɔden sɛ wɔbɛsubscribe na like video no na wasa share ama afoforɔ nso anya bi ahwɛ no mahu deɛ ɛkɔ so wɔ ɔman Ghana. Abusua Sam George gyata saa aba kyɛ sɛ wɔgyata ɛɛto gya koraa wɔworɔ saa. Abusua nsɛm a ɔwie a wɔka nyinaa ɛfa Chief Justice Nana Addo Dankwa Galamsey Nana Addo ba no involving Galamsey ne nneɛma a ɛkɔ so wɔ ɔman Ghana na Sam George na no atum akyɛ sɛ wɔto gya. Abusua mmɔ me yɛnsɛe mmerɛ koraa mmɔ me yɛnkɔ ne nkɔtie Sam George abra a wɔto gya.
For case. Obi, work on law school. You know what I'm talking about. But to me, a friend lawyer, Bia or Ghana. Say, where do you hear? Even circuit court judge and can't near Chief Justice Neka. I mean, a Chief Justice with the greatest of respect.
No, but say, Bia, we know, yeah. You know everything around this case, no, is special, and you don't treat it as
Obi,
a
is this
normal
Obi?
Special
Obi,
the
the election petition was done with a timeline.
Yes.
The election petition was done with a timeline.
Yes.
So why can't this be done with a timeline? Can you imagine? Say, in 2012, now President Mahama was sworn in. And at the 8 months.
Yes.
And the Supreme Court came back and said, it did not help the country so well, civil society. Until they now brought a 90-day timeline.
Yes.
So within 3 months, it must be completed. Yes. Until 2020.
But I don't know, it was in a document, the rules of court document, the guiding election petitions.
So in 2020,
yes.
Imagine, President Mahama, the case against President Akufo-Addo and the Electoral Commission. Now Electoral Commission back court now I'm catch a judge and say, "Unim, you're ready to say a year semano." And say, "Would they my 1.5 years ye kwaba?"
No, sir. Even if you want to apply for leave to file out of time, it should be reasonable. It has to meet the reasonability.
They have not even applied for leave to file outside the time. So if the Chief Justice is giving us, forgive me, with the greatest of respect, such lame excuse. It's a very lame excuse. That's a way they man kokra. Yes. It's a very lame excuse.
Excuse, I want to lame is a bit too.
Yeah. Sabita Frache, excuse
one in the
no matter how you try to rationalize it for her leadership, the Chief Justice, Madam,
somebody just sent me a link to a story published by City Newsroom.
Yes.
On the 13th of September 2024. I think around the time I must share initial date. Or say Judicial Service anti-LGBTQ plus bail cases delayed due to incomplete submissions. Also, the Judicial Service of Ghana has stated that parties involved in the anti-LGBTQ plus bail cases, quote, have not completed the work they are to do before a hearing by the Supreme Court can be conducted, unquote. This announcement follows reports of the sponsors of the bill planning to protest against the Chief Justice on September 17th. In the report, the MP for Ningo Prampram, a sponsor of the bill, indicated that they would march against the Chief Justice on September 17th in a protest dubbed Family Values March. And reasons are and it says, the Judicial Service, in a statement issued on Friday, noted that Richard Sky's case began with a writ filed on March 5th, 2024. As of July 31st, 2024, when the Supreme Court went on recess, neither Parliament, which is the first defendant, nor the Attorney General, who is the second defendant, had filed a defense in the form of their statement of case. The Judicial Service of Ghana emphasized that the three parties could only file the memorandum of issues for the trial when the statement of case are in place. Adding, until then, the Supreme Court cannot hear the case. Even Parliament, they also want to
Obi. Would you back school?
Yes.
Means to me back school.
Yes.
Now, teacher yet you and castle on chair madi. Or see what my homework.
Yes.
Your man for homework number.
Yes.
And John so tiho and show my dear say or train say a down the homework nebano. Are you telling me that the Chief Justice
yes
does not have the power and that the courts, the Supreme Court of Ghana, does not have the power to enforce the timelines in the procedure of the Court of Ghana. The procedure says that in 14 days you must file your defense, your statement of defense. And I'm saying we've gotten past 63 days, and the court doesn't think that they have a responsibility to ensure or state that, look, if you don't do this, the Supreme Court has the power to say, if defense doesn't file this case, I will proceed to give judgment. This is law 101.
Why, and this is the other logical question. Why say at this point we feel say when a president assembly on a court? Why is the president out of this?
Because you see, Obi, me President Kufado, I won't hide it. His complicity in Galamsey alone makes me dislike him. But I cannot hold him responsible for what he's not responsible. That will become hatred. I don't hate him. I don't hate him. There is nothing before the president. Parliament, per Article 106(6) and 7 of the Constitution of the Republic, has to transmit the bill to the president.
To the president, sure.
The president case
that transmission has been put on
hold by this case.
Okay.
Now, what is putting the transmission on hold is not the substantive case. It is the injunction writ.
Yes.
The injunction.
Yes.
Now, the injunction case has been heard in full.
Yes. Decision on which has been deferred.
Thank you. So, you see, when the Chief Justice is making this argument about the substantive case, the Chief Justice had every room and responsibility to rule on the injunction, because there were two different things. Even if you remember, even on the 17th, when Counsel for Parliament, Tadio Sorry, wanted to introduce a certain document, Okachane said she won't allow him do it because it is for the substantive case.
For the substantive case.
So he should wait for that because she's hearing
the injunction application.
So the council has focused on that and delivered that to you. After there, who say mean to me my judgment, I just admitted the whole case, and now you want to shift the back or pass the blame.
The issue they say
she should
hearing of the whole of the substantive case, and data on be here.
We don't even know when. We don't even know when. She's not even told us when.
Okay.
And our argument is this: whilst you hear the substantive case, the injunction ought to be dispensed with, so that if you decide, if the Supreme Court decides, said they are going to grant the injunction, then Parliament knows that there's an injunction on us.
Okay.
If we choose to appeal that, which is a right we have in the dispensation of justice, we will then invoke that right. If you rule that there can be no injunction on Parliament, then Parliament will proceed with the transmission to the President. And whilst the substantive case is going on, Article 106, 8, 9, and 10 will kick in with the President. So the problem of why, and that's why we can't go to the President today. It is the Chief Justice. She is solely responsible for the quagmire we find ourselves in.
Yeah, but the constant reference to say the Chief Justice should rule. He is only head of a panel. In the non decision per se. I think we should be minded by a non-so, because I think a 5-member or a 7-member panel. 5-member panel. And she's only chairing, or that's why a president of a panel. In the non ruling per se. And I think it's fair.
I agree.
I agree.
You understand?
I agree. The administrative role as Chief Justice, when
when I started and I made reference to the Brain Crying case. Brain Crying case. I referenced Justice Abdullah Tanko. Why? Because he was president of that panel.
Yeah, but you brought in
Yoni Kolendi.
You know why because he's a member of the panel.
No, because Yoni Kolendi wrote a quorum judgment.
Okay.
He wrote another judgment agreeing with Justice Abdullah Tanko. So that's why I referenced him. Else I would not have referenced the rest of the people on the panel. Today, when people talk about the election petition case of 2012, who did they call? Atuguba was president of the panel. Was the presiding judge? Was he the only one on the panel? So the Chief Justice cannot run away from the fact that she's one Chief Justice and two presiding judge of that panel.
Okay, it is here, no, but why don't
So
you also
tell the Chief Justice that the time she's spending on press conferences, she should spend it writing her judgment.
At the end of the day, also a narrative and as a side of the story. They have to tell that side of the
platform
story. Minim. The other time,
the Chief Justice press conference. When was the last time you saw a Chief Justice in Ghana do press conference? She's done 2. You see this story you are referencing?
Yes.
Check the dates.
Yes, 13 September.
It is 2 days after they wrote to me. I told you they wrote to me on the 11th.
Yes.
So after writing to me, they had going to the press. The Judicial Service and the Chief Justice, the Judicial Service of Ghana and the Chief Justice of Ghana should stop engaging in a media banter with me.
Yeah, but the point is
I am not interested in a media banter. I'm a lawmaker. I have brought a private member's bill and done my job as I am paid for by the taxpayer. The Chief Justice is paid by the taxpayer to give judgment in cases, not to be holding press conferences.
No, but the point is, apart from you making
tell me
the
any
law,
Chief Justice. Tell me any Chief Justice in the history of Ghana. You see, in the history of this,
no Chief Justice has also been confronted. No, Chief Justice, any Chief Justice,
because no Chief Justice has conducted himself or herself in this manner.
Maybe the NSA, it is not wrong, Sam George. Say, a sponsor of the bill is on the media, we interview on an issue. And you think the Chief Justice cannot also speak to the issue because of a judge? No, I don't think that is fair. In the end of the day, we should allow, say, on also a view on the way on also the
I have come to the media. Primary duty. Exactly. I've come to the media after completing my primary duty for which I am paid by the taxpayer, making laws.
Yes.
Mejuma, me am Rashe Bedunio. Mashishemra, onu ne ejuma ne se, obema judgment, obetna court ho.
But why are you not also granted? Say yes, the Supreme Court all the powers to determine how this case would go, how fast it would be adjudicated upon there. But why don't you also advise the parties? So they should do the needful, but including even the Parliament of Ghana.
And that's what I'm
saying.
Obi, there's no case. I'm not expecting any judgment from the Attorney General. I'm not expecting any judgment from Council to Parliament.
Yes.
I'm expecting judgment from the Chief Justice. Listen, the reason why the bill has still and can still not be transmitted today is not because the Attorney General has failed to file. It is not because Tadiosori has failed to file. It's because the Chief Justice has decided to stay judgment.
Yes. Not to proceed
on the injunction.
Sure.
Because it is not the main case that is holding the transmission. It is the injunction that is holding the transmission. And the case on the injunction has been fully heard. All submissions made. All that is left is a judgment or a ruling of the Supreme Court. And the Supreme Court has already given a ruling on a similar matter in March this year, Boxing the Fiamepo versus Attorney General, where the Supreme Court has ruled that the Supreme Court cannot stop a constitutional body from carrying out a constitutional function. Parliament is a constitutional body. Our constitutional function is to transmit legislations that we pass to the president. So she has no power to stop us. So why is she using the back door to stop Parliament? Because her failure to give a judgment has left us in an abeyance. And say, one injunction. So basically, in effect, technically, an injunction is in place. And that's what we are saying, that the Chief Justice has no power to do that. It is an arbitrary and capricious use, according to Article 296 of the Constitution, of her powers.
In Tinyame Adumechna, a petition will be presented to the Chief Justice. And then to the Attorney General.
Yes.
And then to Parliament of Ghana.
No Parliament in count.
That's why I'm filing your processes. Why is it Muyi Omofim? So why are you then going to the AG? Why are you then going to the Attorney General?
In her letter to me, she mentioned the age. She mentioned the age.
But the Judicial Service has told you, sir, Parliament is on filing your process.
We don't have a problem with even adding Parliament's lawyer. Tadio, sorry. We don't have a problem.
Okay.
One person, a petition, but and the millions of Ghanaians is that the Constitution should be allowed to work.
Absolutely.
And the Constitution's working is for Parliament to transmit the bill.
My Memusa final question will be where say Obi? Okay. No, but we no question. Where a question was Sam George and we know about say Obi. This Parliament is coming to an end in December.
Yes.
Why can't all these demonstrations wait for the next Parliament and the next President, Sam George?
The President, say on Namhono, siren now using why can't you also stop using it from now till December? I mean, why is the president enjoying all the benefits of being president from now till December? I mean, you see, it is this level of thinking from some citizens that emboldens the despotic action of the president and irresponsible action from leaders. Because you are paying the person giving him the benefits of state, and you say that for 60 days, because I got 60 days, no, you enjoy. And they also want to see from. But if he's going to continue to enjoy and fly around the world as president of Ghana, he must fulfill his duty as president of Ghana. But for people to think that we have different standards, if this was John Mahama or any other person, Professor Mills, would they have argued this? It is this kind of attitude and behavior from some citizens that has emboldened President Akufo-Addo to act in a responsible manner in which he is. Imagine the president sitting with organized labor and telling them that they should stand down their demonstration. Yet that day, his government issued 13 new mining licenses in forest reserves. The same day. It is that kind. It is this kind of behavior that is empowering the irresponsibility of our president.
If you say irresponsibility, no. Sam George, relax.
When it comes to Galamsey, I won't relax.
I know.
Because Obi,
we are all passionate about Galamsey.
It is an evil, wicked thing.
I know.
Obi, are you aware that right now even yam from Ghana is being banned?
I know. I've said this on the show.
How can we sit here and look? It is simply because the president's daughters are involved in Galamsey.
Now also they ain't found out the name. No. Sam George, Sam George, relax. Oh, Tobo, relax. Sam George, Tobo. Alaji, can the opposite or can
you have an MP standing saying they won't end Galamsey?
Sam George, relax. Alaji, can the
Abusuya nyina yeti Sam Jata George. Ti abusuya wo so kyerɛ wadwen abusuya comment section wa wo dia wan comment a obi anim dia wo so hye otrim wadwen hye otrim dia be se otimi me nyina hu penfo ne nyina timi kenkan na mo hu dia cause ne omkwa na wo nyansa no yeso wo nyansa na bi but opportunity ni nya nti wa benya opportunity we na comment wo video na se na just penfo no so atimi everyday abusuya bo more than so be like na wa share na wa subscribe. Thank you for watching.